Hello everyone, it is me, Mr. Fabi, and today I will be going through a guide of KVK1 pairings. Now, there's different levels to what pairings you should use depending on your level of spending. So, I'll be going through the most cheapest options to the most expensive. So, starting off, we'll start off with infantry, which the most basic and free-to-play friendly march is either Sun Tzu Aethelflaed or Sun Tzu Bjorn. I've run this in the past with a Sun Tzu Bjorn, and honestly, it gets decent trades. The main thing as a free-to-play is getting your Aethelflaed sculptures. That is going to be one of the hardest things to do because you need to be high in your campaign. So it definitely is difficult to do, but it is not impossible. Now, another pairing, which would be more of a mid-level spending, would be Pyrrhus Sun Tzu. Now, Pyrrhus is good because he's got the normal damage, and with Sun Tzu in the pairing, he's got the AoE on him. Now, you would ideally want to be putting gold heads into him. I've been putting gold heads into him constantly to try and get him to 5-5-1-1, and then I will be able to use him as a commander swap. Now, if you're wanting to go higher, just a little bit higher than a mid to high spender, another pairing you can do is Charles Martel and Sun Tzu. Charles Martel has the shield ability, which gives you 10% damage for 4 seconds and damage absorbing shield for 4 seconds, which is going to be insane if you can get this skill up to 5, and then obviously you can get expertise, which gives you a 20% defense, health, and march speed. March speed is a main thing for infantry, especially if you're going to be wanting to get in there, hit, and then jump out. Another commander pairing as such for big players are Charles Martel and YSG. Now, it's going to be really hard to get both of them because you need the gems for not only YSG wheel, but you will most likely end up being spending your gems for the legendary sculptures here. Now, this isn't recommended at all in the slightest, but there is a really high chance that you will end up buying these just to expertise them. Now, another march that you can do for garrison is if you're wanting to do an anti-swarm, then you can do Charles Richard or again Charles YSG. So those are the marches I would recommend for infantry. Now, if we move on to calves, then the cheapest free-to-play friendly one would be using buy bars and possibly either CC or belly. Now, buy bars is good because he gets his first skill, which is 3 damage, but it is also good for KP, and especially KVK1, because you can run around and kill farmers. Now, I know tier 1 KP is horrible to get, however, it's going to be really hard to get KP in KVK1 if you're not farm killing. Now, if you are, a low spender, then you can also do Mina buy bars or Mina Aethelflaed just for that extra AoE, because Mina is a good one to get, especially if you have him 5-1-1-1 or 5-5-1-1. You don't need him expertise for him to be usable. However, if you are going to be a high spender and you will be expertising Mina, then you can go expertise him, and then you can also again run one of these commanders, whether you're wanting to just go for no AoE, which you can use CC, or if you're again wanting AoE, which would be buy bars is your next best. Now, if you're going to be a really high spender, you can do Mina YSG. You can also do this as a mid spender because all your gems will be saved up for the YSG wheels, because you need that AoE. So this is why I would suggest using buy bars if you're free to play, because he does give the fan, so that is definitely a really helpful, especially in KVK1. So for high spenders, I definitely would recommend Minamoto and YSG, especially if you can get Minamoto expertise and YSG expertise. Another sort of mid-spender friendly one is even if you just expertise Mina and then go with Aetherfled just for the fan, because it does up to 5, which is better than what Bybars does. But again, you're going to be running in there, hitting, and then running out. So, yeah, that's basically it for Cavs. So, this is really uncommon to use, but archer-wise, you can use archers in KVK1. However, when it comes to archers, you're wanting to go for Thutmose and YSG. This is ideally the only one recommended for KVK1 is Thutmose YSG, because Thutmose and YSG is an insane pairing. But unfortunately, you can only really do high spending if you're wanting both of them, because you're going to need to get them both expertised, or even Thutmose 5551 or 5511, it works, but expertise is 100% more better. However, if you're just wanting to just see what happens, you could use Thutmose Aetherfled, because Aetherfled does have that AoE, and also the support talent tree. You could use Thutmose Elcid, which I'm going to be honest with you, Elcid, horrible. But you could use that as well. So there's not really much options for archers. There's not really too many options. But one thing I will say to everyone is if you're getting dailies, definitely go for CC expertise, because that is a free commander swap right there. If you have him expertise, then that is easily a commander swap for a full expertise commander when you're making the switch. So yeah, this is basically it for the guides. Gear wise, what I will recommend is when you're going Sun Tzu, go for full blue, and then when you are going further than that, what you can do is you can focus on, let me go over to my equipment. So when you're going for gloves, you ideally want to get, where is it? So this one? Yeah, Seth's Brutality, and then, so these are the purples that you're wanting to focus on. But the first purple you want to get is this one right here, Karak's Humility. You want to focus on this one, and then your second piece, you would want to go for Seth's Brutality, and then for the boots, you're wanting Frost Treads. So these are the 3 that you're mainly focusing. And then once you have those 3, you can just straight up jump up to getting your Hope Cloak, and then getting your helmet right here. Now, you can get this from Golden Kingdom, Soroli, VIP Shop, and events as well, which would be Egg Event, the Mining Event, stuff like that. And then once you've fully gotten that, you can prioritize on getting your shield here. And then it's just a matter of getting boots again, and then gauntlets, and then that's pretty much it for infantry. When it comes to calves, you're wanting 2 greens, so these 2, this one right here, Vanguard, and then your pants, and then the rest of it blue, which you're going to be wanting Windswept for the boots, gauntlets, and chest, which is this one right here, and then this one here, and then was it boots, I believe? Yeah, Windswept boots. Now, once you've gotten this, you can aim for this one in KVK1, but you're better off going for it as soon as you can. So you'll have all this. The next thing is to go for the Gladiator. If you go for the Gladiator and then go for Dark Lord's Blessing, and then once you've gotten that, you can go for for this, the Amulet, and then you can also go for the Silent Trial. You can also get the Heart of the Saint as well, which is really useful. And then after that, you'll be wanting the Golden Boots, aka Boots of the Hellish Wasteland. And after that, you will want to be going for full Hellish Wasteland with the Khan helmet. This one right here, Pride of Khan. Now, for archers, is going to be a little bit different because there's not many options for gear wise, but you're wanting the chest plate blue, which will be this one right here, Commander's Heavy Armor. And then you're wanting the staff, which would be this one right here, Staff of the Lost. And then you're wanting the pants as well, which is Greaves of Exile. However, after that, you're wanting to get yourself Flame Treads. You're wanting that. And then you will be wanting the helmet, which is the Revival Helm. And then for the boots, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, so for the boots, yeah, Flame Treads, and then gauntlets, I think it was. Yeah, gauntlets. You're wanting the Revival gauntlets as well. Now after that, you can focus on getting a full Revival set, which after that you would want to go for the Golden Age sword. But then other than that, you're wanting the full Revival set. But once you have gotten all this and you've gotten your side pieces here, which you're wanting the Delane Amulet and you're also wanting the Call of the Loyal, you can start focusing on getting the Dragon's Breath plate and then the Dragon's Death Vambraces. After that, you're mainly just wanting to go for pants, which is the Dragon's Breath, and just fully start going for the full Dragon's Breath set until you get to the helmet, which is the Ancestral Mask of the Night. But after that, you are wanting full legendary gear, which you will be wanting to go for the Hydra's Blast, and after that, Dragon's Breath Blow if you can get that. And then after that, it's just a matter of getting full legendary gear, which ideally is going to be quite easier than what it sounds like. So yeah, that's all for today's video. I will be streaming possibly, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.